anything.
Yeah. Well, if mYiAbomb actually takes this here, that would be a very quick show match here.
It
So
would.
everyone who wants to see more games, let's cheer for our yellow Protoss player spawning in the bottom right spawn location. We have mYiNsanity's A-Bomb representing the sponsors. So everyone cheer for A-Bomb because the sponsors are his team.
And up here in the top left-hand corner, currently 3-1, it is up to him to take this. It was mYiAbomb spawning as a red Protoss. I'd love to see
What?
7 games regardless.
Oh yeah, these players are actually showing they're showing some really innovative stuff. And mYiAbomb last time, for the first time, seemed to not. He was a bit aggressive at the beginning, but overall he wasn't really the aggressor there, and he showed that he can really pull off some magnificent defenses as well. So more games is more mYiAbomb.
That's true.
And this is, of course, the pick of A-Bomb. This is A-Bomb's map pick. And for those of you who aren't playing HOTS, but have Wings of Liberty, and have played in the new season, of course, this is one of the maps that has been added to the Wings of Liberty map pool. The differences, of course, are that these destructible rocks at the third do not exist. I think those are the only...
Yeah.
That's the only... And there's no unbuildable rocks at the bottom of the ramp. That name always irritates me. Unbuildable rocks.
Well, you have unbuildable plates on some maps, too. I don't know. I think the reason for them not just being a pile of rocks either is to be aesthetically pleasing, while still trolling Dustin Browder.
It's just the name. The name
Yeah.
is it just sounds and feels so odd. We did just see mYiAbomb scout all the way around his base, making sure there's no proxy 2-gate shenaniganry. A-Bomb not going to be pulling out proxy 2-gates just yet, if at all. Going for that earlier second gas once again. 2 guys in his main gas at the moment. And thus far, this is looking pretty much like the openings we've seen in every other game so far.
It's a pretty early gas out of here from A-Bomb, though.
Yeah, he's been doing this every game though because he only puts one guy in his initial gas at the beginning and then puts a second guy in slowly and then finally a third. So earlier gas allows him to catch up with that. And now there's 2 guys in each gas, so he's up by 1 gas miner. And there we go, mYiAbomb going to be grabbing his own gas as well. mYiAbomb going for the same opening, going for the Stalkers once again, almost definitely with this gateway timing. And he did it the last 2 games, and he won the last 2 games. So as you said the last game, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. I feel this is a much larger distance between the 2 bases, though.
Yeah.
Even on Newkirk City, it's a pretty small map. There's a pretty long distance between the 2, but on actually really magnified by the fact that you have this abyss in the center of the map that you have to path around.
Yeah, this map is another one where it's just absolutely a long rush distance. That's the word I'm looking for. Despite being only a 2-player map, and that's something that we're seeing quite a bit in the new Heart of the Swarm maps that Blizzard has come up with. A lot of them are 2-player maps, but they're really, really big 2-player maps.
Yeah.
Sort of a la Daybreak. And A-Bomb going for an early expansion again. That's something we missed in the last game, but there we go. His own Mothership Core going to be finishing up, and once again, we're going to have to see how A-Bomb can defend against these Stalkers. The game on Core Hall City did not really go his way at all, as he just lost to the 3-gate follow-up. But the last game he was able to deflect these pretty easily. And there we go, he's adding on gateways number 2 and 3 himself. mYiAbomb at 2 at the moment, not adding on a 3rd one just yet. Nor is he expanding just yet.
He does actually have a proxy pylon in place above the 3rd base of his opponent, and this is something you need to do 100% when you're going for this early 3-gate pressure. Is that you have to deny your opponent scouting you, or 2-gate pressure, sorry. And he's actually getting an expansion behind this after scouting his opponents.
I like that because he doesn't really have 2 gateways. You can't really put on an insane amount of pressure with that. Sure, these initial Stalkers are going to be very, very annoying and pesky, but he's only going to be able to follow it up with two more Stalkers at a time. So as soon as these gateways finish up for A-Bomb, as they are just now, he'll be able to pull ahead in the unit count, and he should be able to save his expansion as well.
The shields are now just about depleted, though. Oh, here comes the Photon Overcharge.
Boom!
It was just barely out of range of that one Red House Stalker. mYiAbomb is continuing to reinforce this on the offensive, though. So we do have a scouting hallucinated Phoenix.
I do like that he's able to confirm the Nexus. This is not an all-in or
Yeah.
anything like that at all. And so he'll just probably continue making probes 2 at a time while just continually producing units. He knows that mYiAbomb can't produce an insane amount of units here. So
I feel like this is going to be a big change in PvP, because there are a lot of times where you are indeed contained by your opponent, and you have this opportunity to get a definitive scout off on whether or not your opponent has expanded, like exactly how much he's committed to this push, and that gives you a good idea of exactly how to play it out. It makes you have the option of getting a, I'm blanking. All right, we have another engagement.
yes, mYiAbomb saves the day. Stalker's moving up the ramp here. Nice force field going down from mYiAbomb, but he doesn't really have all that much in the way of ranged units, only really sentries. Zealots are going to try to engage here, but there is not enough energy on the Mothership Core, nowhere near enough energy for a photon overcharge, so he's going to have to hold this with his gateway units alone, and there's a great spread on mYiAbomb. mYiAbomb Stalkers here, really, really nice concave.
These pull probes are definitely going to do...
And yeah, they do help him ward this off. And mYiAbomb is going to try to pick off a couple of these sentries. I like that, especially with a couple more Stalkers moving on in here. The Mothership Core is joining the fray, will go down.
And this is big. It was nearing that energy that you need, 100, to try and get that second photon overcharge up. And that's what allowed him to hold this push in the beginning. So that was a nice snipe by mYiAbomb. Again, 100 gas going down is not something you want to have to rebuild.
We are seeing an Immortal Chrono Dot. This is going to be very good timing here. mYiAbomb is adding on 2 more gateways and a Stargate, so he looks like he wants to continue to be a bit of the aggressor here, even though his main force is pulling itself all the way back. mYiAbomb has continued producing probes 2 at a time here. He's up by 4, so economically he's in a good spot. Army-wise, the army supply is literally, like, almost, it was even, so I was about to say literally even, but I warped in a Zealot to screw up my timing there, but otherwise, everything's looking very, very nice here. mYiAbomb looking like he wants to play ground, though. He's getting a forge up. I would assume this is going to be for upgrades rather than a cannon at this point. Second Stargate coming down here for mYiAbomb as well, so mYiAbomb's going to need to really go heavy on the Stalkers and maybe some of the Templar here, Archons as well. If he goes into Robo play too heavily, he's going to really find himself on the bad end of the trade.
I really like how... Like, I may not like the maps individually, but I like how they give a diverse opportunity to use different strategies that have been either like recently buffed or recently had changes to that made them able to be implemented in Heart of the Swarm. On this map, you definitely have this diverse like ground versus air mechanic pretty readily in Protoss versus Protoss, from what I've seen, as both playstyles are actually viable on this map, due to the fact that you can get a fair amount of bases up really close to your central position, your main nexus, but then you also have the ability to harass via this open area behind the main base.
Ooh, sorry to interrupt you there, but there's an Oracle moving
Yep.
into the main, and there's really nothing to hold this off at the moment, so it doesn't have a huge amount of energy, but a lot of these probes are going to go down, 4 or 5 for sure, at least. That Oracle's up to 5 kills in a matter of seconds.
Yep.
It is slowly but surely going to be running out of energy. He does deactivate
Oh,
it.
and the Stalkers from mYiAbomb.
It should go down! Yes, he does take it down. I love the new death animations, I must say.
Yeah. Oh, we actually have a
seems
Dark
like-
Shrine coming out here from mYiAbomb too. I have not seen yet, I don't think, how Archons en masse stack up against Void Ray compositions, as that is what we're going to see out of mYiAbomb here.
But it looks like mYiAbomb, is he going to go for an expansion here? I think he may, but he is getting a proxy pile at the same time, so he may look to get a little bit aggressive. And he's going to be at a sort of critical mass of Void Rays. It's going to be almost impossible to deal with until mYiAbomb gets a large number of Archons out. And Archon doesn't have mYiAbomb doesn't have Archons for at least another minute or so. So
Yeah. Yeah, Dark Shrine may have been reduced in gas cost, but it still takes forever to freaking build.
yeah, it takes as long as a Spire, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 100 seconds. I think the longest that any building takes, and it's like the Hive takes that long, the Spire, the Greater Spire, and the Dark Shrine.
So mYiAbomb's pylon did actually get knowledge of this War Prism coming into his main base. It doesn't necessarily mean that the DTs will be ineffective, though.
Oh, mYiAbomb's probe is so close to seeing.
I know! This is the second time that this has
And
happened.
it doesn't see the warping of DTs. It
Oh
does
my
know it
gosh.
exists, of course, but he doesn't know that the DTs are on their way. mYiAbomb moving out, though, And I don't think that's not going to go very well for him if he has nothing to defend against those DTs. DT is the only thing that can match Oracles in just absolute decimation speed of bases, I guess you could say. Their bases are up for both players here. mYiAbomb still up by about 5 workers. Consistent work production from both players here. And the DTs are in the bases.
And he has
Zealots are full to deal with it, but there's just no detection.
He has to completely rely on cannons to try and defend this, and static defense just isn't going to do the job that an observer that this mothership core will do. Meanwhile, we do have a big engagement here as all the Void Rays and Stalkers of Whiterun are pushing in to deny mYiAbomb's third base.
Down it will go. But of course, the third base of Whiterun also under siege by several Zealots. Of course, the main and natural mineral lines have been forced to evacuate to that one cannon. And the Mothership Core has finally allowed for the Void Ray to clean up these Dark Templar, but this one has 15 kills!
Yeah, 21 kills altogether here, and the Zealots are still going to work on this third base. They may just be able to take this out before Whiterun intervenes.
The Prismatic Alignment for the Void Ray doesn't actually do bonus damage to Zealots.
And it's going to go down.
Down it goes.
That was a huge victory for mYiAbomb.
And that more than makes up for the loss of his own third. He kept his worker count at 68. Whiterun lost his third and lost 20 workers. And mYiAbomb going to be moving on forward with his own units here, trying to pick off these pylons at the front. But Whiterun can't be happy with that trade overall, and mYiAbomb's going to grab a fourth behind this, and I really like that because he's way up in workers. He can spread his workers out a lot better here, but this is a massive Void Ray army. He's up to 9. He actually has 10, it's just 9 in this group.
The Warp Prism has actually been killed, though, remaking another one almost instantly. And we do see that mYiAbomb is also taking a fourth base behind this, too.
And mYiAbomb loves his Warp Prisms. They're something that he's sort of become known for in several of the games that have been featured on Husky's channel. He just utilizes two-pronged, three-pronged Warp Prism harass. He does it in Wings of Liberty as well. Not the funnest to play against, if I may say so myself, but
I would imagine not.
Has a lot of success with that, so.
In some of those first couple games that Rain displayed in PvT, where he was like really heavy on the Warp Prism harassment with High Templar drops or Zealot Warpins every now and then, I mean, it just absolutely tore lesser players apart. It even made quick work of Tasia, who is a very skilled player, especially in that matchup. Whiterun does actually scout the Robotics Bay and the fact that it is being chrono boosted, so.
And, sorry, I was trying to look at the number of gateways, but there's just so many buildings on the map. It looks like mYiAbomb's going to be up to a total of 10 gateways. It's significantly lower than I thought he was, especially since he's more ground-based, but Whiterun has so many Void Rays. I'm going to be interested to see whether or not anything can deal with those.
And we actually have 3 hallucinated Warp Prisms making their way through.
Oh, this is awesome.
In addition to this lone Warp Prism that is actually intending to go to the third base.
Oh, Storm Drops! Oh, so many casualties.
13 workers killed right there. That was very well executed by our Irish player.
And he actually forced a photon overcharge as well on this Nexus with one of the fake War Prisms.
Yeah.
Because the Void Rays are out of position. That was beautiful right there, and we're seeing 76 to 54 in workers at this point. mYiAbomb skyrocketing ahead in his economy. He's about to finish charge at +3.
Oh my god. He only had enough for 1 storm, managed to kill 6 probes, and he does drop an additional Zealot, which is picking up 1, 2, now 3 kills.
Yeah, charge just finished as well, so these Zealots are being able to do quite a bit of work. Each of them are at 3 kills at this point, and 44 worker kills by mYiAbomb so far, and he's up by 60 supply. That changes a little bit with 2 carriers in production for Whiterun.
Oh my gosh. Whiterun, that Warp Prism was just barely out of vision. This is the 3rd time that this has happened this game.
And this Warp Prism would have been a massive snipe for him because it's got 300 gas worth of High Templar in it as well.
Oh my god, that has to
go straight into the Void Rays. Oh, that's not
oh again. mYiAbomb does actually micro it away, and Whiterun seems to not have noticed it. I'm sure that it was in vision. For Whiterun to see.
Now, looking at this is actually something that's fairly interesting. Whiterun's been going for air this entire game, but he only has +1 armor. That's the only upgrade he has. Whereas mYiAbomb is 3-2 with 3-3 and +1 shields. With +3 armor and +1 shields.
Yeah.
So his upgrades are just demolishing Whiter at the moment. And if you're going air, you can get away with having one or two upgrades less, but he's down by 4 at the moment. So this is really not going to trade very well. And we just
Still managed to get 5 kills there, even though the Warp Prism did die. A-Bomb warping or hallucinating in a couple Phoenix to go scout what he is indeed attacking up into.
And he sees the carriers as well,
Yeah.
so he knows what he's playing against. And here comes a push. There's a bit of a hole in that force field gap there, and Storm's going down all over the Void Rays. These Stalkers are sort of running around.
The Stalkers all die though. I mean, he's relying now primarily on High Templar to take out these Void Rays and storming his own Zealots in the process. He's doing a catastrophic amount of damage to the Void Rays though.
Yeah, the Void Rays are getting very low on health.
They're going to survive. White Raw's going to hold this engagement, and that was a huge loss for A-Bomb. So many full energy High Templars died there, and then the Archons that they were made into.
To work forward, they will be able to pick up a couple of units. They don't opt to go for the carriers. But A-Bomb is still ahead here, but that was a disastrous engagement for him.
Yeah, I mean, he's still up an entire base. He's killed 49 workers throughout this game so far. And he does have 2 more Warp Prisms going out there into what looks like his opponent's natural as well as third base.
But A-Bomb can also reinforce faster as he has an additional base of income and 20 more workers. He's going to try to push the front again. One Archon crushing the force field will go down pretty quickly, though. A lot of these Stalkers are sort of stuck in the back, not really doing all that much, though, and they are going to be forced back once again. But has this been enough of a distraction for these Warp Prisms to get in and get some good damage done?
3 carriers in production at once here. White Raw making interceptors as well. Oh, this is just a huge mass of Zealots being warped in here, and some Stalkers, too.
That's a lot of Stalkers. That is 7 Stalkers being morphed in. That is going to take a lot of his units to actually pull back and defend against this, which may just
the cannon gets sniped, and there's no observer in sight, so these DTs, 4 of them now, will be able to just ravage his opponent's base, depowering everything, potentially.
I would love to see him go for the Cybernetics Core to just deny any further upgrades. But these Void Rays are doing their best, but again, they're focusing a lot on the Zealots. The Nexus will go down. That means no more gas income. There's still a significant amount of gas in those refineries as well, so here's an attack on the third as well.
The entire map is lighting up for me now in White Raw's main.
Yeah.
As the third base is being destroyed by Blink Stalkers as well.
And he does get a nice force field off that prevents them from blinking away. One carrier will be focused down. Will he get the second one as well? I don't think so. No, he doesn't. But he's down to 1 base. It's almost mined out at this point. The supplies may be even, but the income is going to start looking terrible very, very soon.
And 2 DTs survive. It's going to take about 30 seconds to get enough energy for an Envision again. And that is literally the only detection he has right now, is the rest of the cannons, aside from 1, have been wiped out.
Yeah, White Raw's also supply blocked now as well after one of those DTs takes out a pylon. And White Raw isn't making a pylon. This is not the time of the game where you want to be making pylons. This is where you usually have about 200 supply worth of pylons.
Yeah.
He is just moving around, focusing those down. Going to be able to unpower virtually everything. The last 2 pylons should go down. No more upgrades from those Cybernetics cores for the meanwhile. Down go the gateways as well, power-wise.
And we do have a 5th base coming down here from A-Bomb too, in spite of all of this harassment.
Look at that, like, the harassment, he's supply blocked by, like, 32 supply here, and he's only building 1 pylon. He doesn't have the money.
Yeah, he just can't spend the minerals.
Storm's going down all over
the probe transfer, no!
Oh god, that's painful.
Oh my god. It's just brutal. He still has a lot of high energy Templar with these too. He just needs to take care of these interceptors so he can push forward. They're just such great siege units.
Storm just killed a significant number of the interceptors as well. So he's looking at a great position here. That third base finally reestablished for White Raw, so he will have some real income. He's having trouble producing pylons to get unsupply blocked though.
Although with long distance mining off of 40 workers, he does have almost 1,000 income, which is respectable considering his situation right now.
Yeah.
His third now is rebuilt again. And Stalkers are coming in here to try and do some damage. Might he get a free carry with this? As long as Blink is off cooldown, he can Blink offensively into this. Oh no, the Void Rays do come back in time.
Nice little shift queue up. So
yeah.
3 of those will escape with their lives. And A-Bomb once again reestablishing that massive supply lead. Finally able to kick his economic advantage.
We finally have an observer on the field.
Do it!
For White Raw,
yes, yeah. Success!
How many probes later? 62 probes later. A lot of that was due to High Templar, not the DTs, so you have to consider that, but
yeah.
It was still a lot of lost mining time above anything else.
The question now is, like, carriers and oh, never mind. We're going to be seeing a bit of a push here, moving on in. Carriers just do so much damage as well.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is like one of the things that happens in Week's Lifty as well. Like carriers, once you reach a critical mass of carriers, it becomes almost impossible to kill them. So I mean, mYiAbomb's nowhere near that critical mass just yet. But
And his upgrades are really, really put on the back burner as that fleet beacon to die.
yeah, he's still on 1-2 to the 3. Is it 3-1-3 or 3? Yeah, 3-2-3 at this point of A-Bomb. He's only one upgrade away from having all of the upgrades that he possibly can have. And a warping of DTs in the third again, picking up even Zealots moving into the middle line, getting shredded. And now, wow, we may even see over 100 workers killed this game. Not right now. He's gonna move up to about. He's gonna get up to about 95, 96. But
This is looking to be the final push here from A-Bomb. Let's see.
Wow.
97. Unfortunately, 90. Just 3 more kills, man. Just needed 3 more kills.
that was a ridiculous game. Awesomely played by A-Bomb there.
That
3-2, he's still down. mYiAbomb will be able to pick a map trying to close it out.